Welcome to this masterclass where we will be talking about decentralized renewable energies role in addressing climate change. Some housekeeping matters. This session will be recorded, which you can access later from our YouTube channel. Please share this with anyone you think that would be interested. Once the presentation is over, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions. You can also raise your hand, type it in the chat box. Hope we can all make this an interactive session and learn from each other. I'll take a minute to introduce our speaker. Dr. Srinivas is currently working as a consultant to UNDP India in Bangkok, UNIDO, World Bank, Asian Development Bank, and Administrative Staff College of India. He holds a PhD in mechanical engineering and has over 30 years of work experience in the development sector. His expertise is in energy for development, energy access, renewable energy, energy efficiency, climate change mitigation, and corporate social responsibility. He contributed to technology development, innovation, and holds patents. He has previously worked in the capacity of a CEO of REC Foundation and Clean Energy Access Network. Dr. Srinivas, a very warm welcome to you. It's wonderful to have you with us today. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Davishna. Okay. Thank you very much for a very generous introduction of myself. Thank you. I have been working in this space for almost 30 years. I started running a mini grid myself in 1990 for 3 years. That was running on a biomass gasifier in a village, which was unelectrified then for 3 years. So I'm kind of proud to say that 95% of the days they did get electricity, though in a neighboring village where I was residing, I got only 50% of the time then. That was in 1990. So let me go to my slides. Just allow me, I think, till it is. Okay. Davishna has given me, kind of, these are the contents that the participants would like to hear. So different types of decentralized energy systems, role of renewable energy systems in creating jobs. That's important. Importance of scaling up decentralized renewable energy systems, rooftop solar, mini and microgrids, etc. Future skills and possibilities of TRE, current state of TRE in India. So these are the set of things, but I have tried to cover, most of it. Let me see how it goes. But let us first, I'm sure if you have heard about the climate change, any of the talks, you would have heard about, this recent things. India has been really a leader in amongst the developing nations, and we have been updating our nationally determined contributions quite significantly. In fact, during the Paris Agreement, we had committed to 175 gigawatts by 2022 December. Indeed, we achieved 188 gigawatts. We exceeded our target. And with that confidence, when they were progressing in Glasgow, that's last year, they committed, Government of India committed 500 gigawatts by 2030. Now, for everything, 2030 is one of the very important milestone, because SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, are also expected to kind of come to a convergence by 2030. So if you look at it, our targets, India has placed for themselves is 500 gigawatts by 2030, and 50% of cumulative electric power installed to come from non-fossil fuel based energy sources. India has been pushing hard on not only, when we say fossil fuels, the West is coming out with phasing down of the coal, but what India is saying is not only coal, but petroleum and other exhaustible resources should be combined with the fossil fuel. So this is the kind of leadership which India is showcasing. And third bullet point that you see is for the first time, we have given a quantitative commitment of reducing 1 billion tons of carbon dioxide from now to 2030. And carbon intensity of the economy would be reduced by 45%. As of last year, we had already achieved, I think, over 30%. And most important thing is net zero emissions by 2070. This is an important rally that we will be making in the decades to come. And apart from that, carbon sink, of 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent is reduced. These are the key commitments that we have made internationally. So if we have to make this, this as a reality, though I was seeing the screen screen which Davishna and team had put up, is DRE a little forgotten sector by the government? Not really so. It is tough sector, but the huge numbers will come from other things like the large solar parks, etc. But as we go, I'm very sure when I present a few numbers, you would realize where we are sitting on a really a kind of a golden opportunity with reference to DRE. Let me go slide by slide. So if the globe has to go towards net zero emissions, these are the estimates and projections done by International Renewable Energy Agency, that's in Abu Dhabi. Many of you would know. We have to move from the present 25% RE to 90% RE. Then only it will be possible. So every sector we have to kind of go towards renewable. If you see here, one of the most important decentralized renewable energy is biomass and other renewables. What you see, if you see on the left side diagram, 8% is the traditional biomass, 3% is the modern biomass. And if you see on the right side, it has to increase to 18% globally. India also has to be in the same ratio. It has to increase. So if you see, where are we heading with reference to? Let's just stick to little bit on the DRE. If you see this graph, how are we progressing on capacity additions? If you see, this is the capacity additions from the renewable. So almost if you take 2022, one bar graph before the last one on the right side, if you see 60%, more than 60% of the additional capacity given in the globally comes from renewable energy. Of that, other renewables, bioenergy, hydropower, particularly small hydro, are all kind of clubbed into decentralized renewable energy. Distributed PV also, if you see, its ratio is quite huge, not to be neglected at all in the global scale. Particularly, distributed PV is very important in these days in African countries, and also the island countries, Philippines, Indonesia, etc. Even India has 1,600 islands, so it's going to be important to DRE. I'll come to that. Okay, this is just a picture on saying, it's quite significant that DRE is already presenting itself in these countries, Nepal, Rwanda, etc. Nearly 10% of the electricity access is met through DRE systems. So let's try to understand a bit. This definition is quite tricky. What is a renewable energy system? Any system that uses this is like how the UN has defined renewable energy to generate, store in some cases, and distribute energy in a localized way. It includes off-grid solar systems, pico solar and solar home systems, mini and micro grid powered systems, biomass, hydro, or a combination of these sources, improved biomass stores, biogas and solar cookers, and productive applications. That's important. So, if you turn the pages with MNRE, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, if you see, there is a section on decentralized renewable energy. They also call it as off-grid also. So, if you look at it, lanterns, they have given numbers: home lights, solar pumps, solar plants, solar street lights, solar power packs, small hydro, biogas. And important thing is on the training. There is a huge push on the training. There is one entity under the Sector Skill Council. There is a Ministry of Skill Development, you would be aware. Under that, at least about 15 to 20 Sector Skill Councils are there. So they're autonomous institutions under the Ministry of Skill Development. And their job is to identify training modules, and they call it as qualification packs. And they have produced almost 2,000 qualification packs. Of those 15 to 20 sector skill councils, Skill Council for Green Jobs is one of them, where they have come out with almost 50 different renewable energy qualification packs. I'll come to that. So let's just quickly try to see, different types of decentralized energy systems, and how one of the first estimates of what's the market, that's important for us to know. So if you look at on the left side, solar PV system, it's all solar, wind, hydro, energy storage, biomass for thermal, biomass for power, clean cook stoves, biogas, compressed biogas plant, biogas, and biofuels. So there are different types. It can be defined in different ways. If you look at it on the right side, off-grid solar PV as one category, so thermal as another category, clean cooking systems as another category, and productive applications for rural livelihood as another category. So it can be categorized, in different manners. So if you look at the left side, solar PV, if you see one of the earlier NSSO, National Sample Survey Organization numbers, about 180 million kerosene lamps and lanterns are there. People keep it as a backup. So in my view, this could simply be replaced by solar PV lanterns. Solar thermal, every house, India has almost 300 million houses, and 60 million micro, small, and medium enterprises. Solar thermal can be definitely be one of the major energy provider, especially the heating applications. Hot water, particularly in south, all the days hot water is required. In the north, definitely during the winter. So there is a little bit of a mismatch, people would say. When we want it the most, you don't get hot water. But if you one suggestion would be, you complement it to the extent possible. Only when you really the weather is not so convenient, then you will have to hybrid it with other resources. So if you look at the hydro, nearly 20 gigawatts is the potential. Sorry, it's written 10 here, but 20 gigawatts is the potential. And till now, we must have harnessed 5 gigawatt. We still have a lot. Energy storage through different means, whether batteries or other means, 20 gigawatt is the estimated potential. We have not even harnessed a fraction of it. Biomass for thermal, as I said, solar thermal, and another resource is biomass. Residue we have significant. I'll come to that slide a little later. Biomass power is still relevant, but if you look at it in the village level, because we have 600,000 villages, 230,000 panchayats. So every panchayat, if you actually take a energy balance, has sufficient surplus residue or biomass that can power that village. So those calculations are there. So in a way, if you look at it, we can sustainably harvest the energy that we require. Clean cook stove still is an important ingredient in the cooking subject, because LPG costs are increasing, and the families are finding it hard to afford. So clean cook stoves still make a lot of sense. Biogas still has, if you see on the right side, out of the 12.4 million biogas plant potential, we have only harnessed about 5 million. So it's still 7.4 million biogas plant still can be, there's a potential. So compressed biogas plants, in fact, by doing that, goshalas or dairies, you can actually export energy from rural to urban. So if you look at on the right hand side, we have tried to make in terms of the market, it's almost $100 billion. That is a market that this DRE has. 100 billion is also, I would say, first estimates. Now there are different estimates made. This is 2018 estimates. In fact, I authored this book, Status of Decentralized Renewable Energy, on behalf of Clean Energy Access Network. So later CEW has come up with a bigger, different number, which is about $140 billion. So even that seems to be on the lower side. If you actually look at the left side, the numbers that I have put up. These are back of envelope numbers. Should not quote directly, but it would be 10 to 20% range difference would be there. So now DRE products, you would be surprised to know that there are almost 400 different type of products. For everything, there is now people have come up with innovation and connected them with solar or hydro or biomass, and you have different types of applications are met by different packages. I'm not going to read all these things out, but just to show that there are lots and lots of products in this area of decentralized renewable energy. So if you come to role of renewable energy systems, decentralized in creating jobs, but largely renewable, but decentralized is an important component. Since I did not have different numbers separated out for clean decentralized DRE, so I have taken these numbers. Skill Council for Green Jobs, the Sector Skill Council concerned, aims at training 10 lakh people by 2030. So typically they assume about 70% of the people should get jobs. Jobs are enterprises, not necessarily jobs, but also enterprises. So they are thinking 20 lakh will be on virtual, but 10 lakh is the number which are like hardcore job oriented. So they also look forward to developing the Center of Excellence, 750 affiliated training centers, which means every district should have a training center, and certified trainers. So aspiring candidate participants, this is what is in front of you. By 2047, they anticipate over 3 crore jobs in this green area. Now, coming to women, it's quite women friendly. DRE is quite women friendly. Even the assembly of solar lanterns, there are barefoot engineers. You may have heard one of the NGOs in Telonia. They have pioneered on training women who never got educated, but they know how to solder, how to assemble, how to sell, how to maintain, how to troubleshoot. They have gone to 38 countries. I had met Dr. Bankar Roy, and he said 38 countries these women have gone and trained the trainers. Trained the people there in those countries. So they can take up any job. Self-help. In fact, I myself, when I was running the biomass gasifier based power generating unit, I trained. There were 3 youngsters. One of them woman, and she not only was running the engine gasifier, but was in full control of the control systems and distribution. Trainers, operations and maintenance, assembly, name it. I don't see any issue for women involvement in this subject. Now, again, here I'm not going to read, but just to place it in front of you, it's a dynamic qualification pack. What you may mean by qualification pack is nothing but training module. They run from about 150 hours to 400 hours. Surya Mitra is one of the key flagship program, the first one, which has 400 hours. So if you look at it, solar photovoltaic, thermal, clean cooking, waste management, wastewater treatment, wind energy, other green jobs. In fact, I am involved with Skill Council for Green Jobs to include 4 more. That is solar cold storages and electric vehicles, green electric vehicles charging stations. So and we will be working with the Skill Council for Green Jobs on hydrogen value chain also. So these are getting added right now. You see about 50 number of qualification packs which are on green, and most of them I would say at least say 2025. If you push me and ask me, Srinivas, how many would be for decentralized renewable energy, I would say 2025. But in terms of the number of people, it can be lower. It may be 20-25% of people may get trained. But I see, as you would have seen the slide earlier, potential is huge. Now, just a quick catch up on mini grids. India has moved quite fast. When this government came up in 2015, within 1,000 days, they made every village connected with electricity. And those villages, maybe about 10,000 villages, which had difficulty in getting the direct grid connection, they connected it with solar and other things. So and then within another 1,000 days, they also connected every household. So I was in REC Foundation. Saubhagya scheme was particularly aimed at connecting every household. So if they are not able to afford, that's a different question. But the wiring will go up to their house. So that was ensured. Maybe a few thousands here or there. Because India is big, few thousands only will have to speak. May not have got connected, but if there is any complaint, it is definitely taken up on a priority basis and connected. But despite that, mini grids are playing an important role because we still have some way to go before we provide reliable power. So these different states have put their mini grid policies: Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, and also Jharkhand. So favorable policies have been put up, and if you are able to connect it with more remunerative loads, it's quite there are quite a few. I'll come to that slide: telecom tower, agriculture process load, primary health centers, etc. So if you are able to connect it with the load which can provide you more income, you will be able to offset and earn decent income. If you I mean, I don't have to, I'm not getting into the details in this short span of 1 hour on the technicalities, but just to say that you have, if it is the solar, on the left side you will see the panel, and it loads the battery as a battery bank, and then you can connect the battery bank through an inverter to distribution system. So if you see, I'm only coming to the last right box. In all, the aim was to connect about 9 lakh households with the mini grid power, and 10,000 was the number of mini grids aimed at by 2022, 500 megawatts. So $150 million of investment and $45 million was the revenue per year. This is what in the nutshell. This is just to give a picture of a few set of mini grids, how much they were able to really contribute. Smart Power India is one of the big supporter, that is through Rockefeller Foundation. So if I'll come to the funding slide little later. Okay. So just, I know there are quite a few slides here, but what I'm trying to make is just to give you a glimpse of different value chains where all DRE is possible, because you are all there in different field areas, different places. You will, by seeing these slides, you should be in a position to connect yourself on which area you see potential, either for yourself or your friends or anybody else who are interested in this business. On the left side is simple, under the Kusum. Kusum is a solar pump program. Government gives a lot of subsidy. People have put up solar pumps to irrigate their lands. On the right side is, one of the question is, if you put up the solar panels, the growth of plants will not happen. But Japanese have done a fantastic analysis and job on actually practically piloting it since 2004, and they have come up with some kind of an arrangement, some kind of a layout with which it is going to yield more, particularly in states like Rajasthan, etc., Gujarat, where temperatures are extremely high. If you have this, it will give plants a kind of a shade and allows it to kind of retain the moisture content. Thereby, you can run your pump or other loads, but also grow beneath that very comfortably. So on the solar cold storage, that's one big area that India is sitting on a gold mine, because we lose almost totally 37% of our agriculture produce from farm gate to last mile. We lose, and this is a first mile. The people, you would have heard about people actually throwing tomato just on the road, because they're not just they're not getting even the expenses covered. So this solar cold storage is a 5 metric ton, which I had the chance to visit on behalf of UNDP, and there are 100 farmers, farmer producing cooperative which is making use, and they say that they were quite happy with it. Till now, about 350 are installed. In fact, through a project which I am actually involved in, I'm guiding UNDP team. We are putting up about 30 solar cold storages in Bihar and Madhya Pradesh. So we will have more analysis to come by. Right now, it is appearing to be little payback is on a higher side. But what initial impressions I got was the chairman of the farmer producer organization said this gives some kind of a good what you call drying cooling parameters which are comfortable for tomato, beetroot, carrot, etc. Whereas the same things cannot be put up in the run the large mandi cold storages which are run on the grid electricity. They are more suited for potatoes. So we'll have to study that. That's why if you see the number of units installed till now is only 350. Potential is very huge. It could be typically every 100 farmers, 150 farmers together can put up a the solar cold storage. I was very impressed on the feedback that I received. What they said is, look, sir, if the market rate of a produce, whether it's beetroot or carrot or tomato, if it is less than 20 rupees, we put our baskets inside the solar cold storage. If it is higher than that, we take it out and sell it because that's the right price for us. And interestingly, what happened was they were also telling me if the rate falls in mandi, they buy it from the mandi and push it into the solar cold storage and sell it when the prices is high. So there is a reverse storage system also. Thereby, capacity utilization of the solar cold storage can happen higher. But there is a lot to do in this subject, and farmers can be benefited. This can definitely lead to something like what the government is aspiring to do. Two things. One is double the income of the farmers. Second is reduce the wastage.